Well, of course, on Thursday, the 10th of November, many of the politicians around here, plus the people who work within the Beehive and Parliament building, have got very strong opinions on the result late last night of the American election. So Parliament will actually start with a motion. The government's proposing a motion of congratulations to President-elect Donald Trump. It does require leave of Parliament. I'd be surprised if anybody denied that leave. And then there's the opportunity for the political leaders to make a comment on the election result and on the successful election of Donald Trump as the next President of the United States. We then moved, of course, to our normal 12 questions of the day, and then to the balance of the order paper. The first item up for debate is the Resource Legislation Amendment Bill, which is a piece of legislation that has been returned from the Select Committee inconclusively. I understand it is the government's intention to recommit that back to the Select Committee, in which case the Select Committee can further delve into the issues, particularly that have been raised in light of a recent government announcement that they've now incorporated an arrangement with the Māori Party for some amendments to that legislation. We then move to the a continued third reading debate of the Civil Defence Emergency Management Amendment Bill. This is a piece of legislation in the name of the Honourable Jerry Brownlee, and I've mentioned it before, it's a modernisation of the emergency and civil defence legislation and protocols in New Zealand, and very much a response to what was learned through the Christchurch earthquakes, making sure we get more rapid, efficient responses. And then, ironically or strangely, the last piece of business the government hopes to move later on this afternoon is a continuing debate on the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement Amendment Bill with the third reading. Of course, New Zealand, along with 11 other countries, has taken a relatively strong position as pro. The Trans-Pacific Partnership hasn't been accepted by all the political parties, so it will be a robust debate in Parliament anyway. But of course, more recently, we've had the election of Donald Trump as the next President of the United States, and he's made some comments in the campaign that he's certainly very opposed to the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Just finally, there's been an interesting smaller development amongst the members' bill today. It was a members' day yesterday. We progressed some legislation which meant that the clerk's office then runs a ballot for replacement legislation that's promoted by individual members. We've had 3 bills drawn out today, which is a record number. There is one called the Films, Videos and Publications Classification Interim Restriction Order Classification Amendment Bill in the name of Chris Bishop, a National MP, and he's only just had success with another member's bill. We then have the Honourable Naya Mahuta successfully having the Charter Schools Application of Official Information and Ombudsman Acts Bill drawn out of the ballot. And finally, the National member Alistair Scott had his bill drawn, which is Crimes Increased Penalty for Providing Explosives to Commit Crime Amendment Bill. I do acknowledge I haven't had a chance to study any of these 3 bits of legislation. The ballot has only just occurred, but over the next few months you'll see these bills come into Parliament, receive a debate in Parliament, and the decision will then be made as to whether they progress further for examination before a Select Committee.